Hi, I'm Mark Donovan from HomeEditionPlus.com, and today I'm in the process of preparing my bedroom closet and my master bedroom for the installation of wood floor. And when you're installing wood floor into an existing finished bedroom, you have a couple choices with your baseboard trim. You can either put quarter round on top of the finished flooring that nails up against the surface of the existing baseboard trim, or you can take the old baseboard off and replace it. Or in my case, I'm going to carefully remove the baseboard trim and then reinstall it after the wood floor goes in. So I'm going to show you how to carefully remove baseboard trim so that you can preserve it and save the cost of having to completely replace it once the new floor goes in. So to carefully remove baseboard trim from your walls, I've got a number of tools I'm using. A Sharpie marker, utility knife, a couple pry bars, some putty knives, even a drywall taping knife, a large flat point screwdriver, and a hammer. So as you can see, this is our baseboard trim. It's a 1x6 baseboard trim with another piece of accent piece trim attached to the top of it. So it goes all the way around the master bedroom closet. We're going to work in a clockwise fashion ourselves around the master bedroom closet to remove it all. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing I'm doing is taking my utility knife and just lightly scoring across the top surface, because there's a caulk that was applied between the drywall and the accent finish trim piece. We want to break that so when we remove it from the side of the drywall, we don't actually pull any paint or drywall material off the wall. So just a light scoring effort, that's all that's required. Now I'm using my putty knife and working it behind the top accent piece of baseboard trim, just loosening it up. I'm going to just do that for a couple inches. And then I'm going to put my second putty knife in and do the same to get a little bit more space in between. Then I'm going to use one of my small pry bars sandwiched in between the two to kind of just wiggle it loose a little bit and work my way down now behind the 1x material. Now with the extra space that I have, I'm putting my big taping knife down so I can really penetrate far behind the 1x material. And this allows me to have a surface area with my pry bar, large pry bar, to get in here and get behind the trim without really damaging too much the drywall that sits below here. It's not too important that I damage it, because if I do, it's still going to be covered by the 1x when I put it back on, but I like to try to minimize any damage to the drywall. So as you can see here, I'm just putting the pry bar down and kind of worrying it back and forth to loosen up the nails from the drywall and the studs that it's nailed into. Now, because I don't have a second large pry bar, I'm using this large flat common screwdriver along with the second pry bar, and again just kind of working my way further down and again loosening up the board a little bit further. And we're going to work our way down the length of the trim. Now, as you can see here, I've actually removed most of the baseboard trim from the side of the wall. However, it's tucked in behind the secondary piece of baseboard trim, so I'm going to have to remove that now as well to allow the first board to slide out from behind it. So the real trick to this is just taking your time and working your way slowly around, not really stressing the wood too much in any one spot, and that way it'll peel away relatively easy. But again, it does take some finesse and a little patience as you do it. There's that piece. And that's that piece. Now, one tool I forgot to mention was a pair of adjustable pliers. And what I like to do there is basically just squeeze onto the nail and then just rock the pliers backwards to pull the nail through. This way I don't leave any holes showing on the back side or the front side of the board. Then again, use the same pliers to pull the nails out of the wall. In the cases where the nails don't come out that easy from the walls, instead of just pulling, you can latch on with the pair of pliers and just use your hammer to tap them out. Now with the Sharpie, you want to make sure that you mark the back of the boards and the wall to know exactly which board piece matches to which piece of the wall. Well, I've successfully removed now all the baseboard trim. Was able to preserve all of it without splitting it or damaging the front surface of it. I also was able to preserve pretty much the drywall, so it doesn't look too bad, even though it would be covered anyways. So now we'll have our wood floor installed. Once it's installed, I'll reinstall this baseboard trim, caulk around the seams, and it should look as good as new. If you have other home improvement questions, make sure to visit homeeditionplus.com today.